Live. Hi all, welcome, and I'm just going to bring them straight on. Here's Andrea and Andrea. So here they are.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, ladies.
Hey. Look at babyface Adam. How cute.
I know. That baby's making them younger. Little Wyatt's making you younger.
Yep. Fountain of youth, that baby smell.
Well, it's not just Andrea that's got some breaking news, but I do as well. But
Okay.
I think, because I'm a gentleman here, I think we should have ladies first.
Okay, go ahead, Adam.
I was going to let you do that.
You're the lady. You're the lovely lady.
That went over your head there.
Andrea, I'll give you the platform so you can promote what you need to promote.
Oh my gosh, okay, you're gonna make me cry now. I don't like crying on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for Women Mental Health Warriors, where we unleash our warrior and go from warrior to warrior. I have a brief announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. And my book has officially been out. It is on Amazon as we speak. Victim to Victorious by Andrea Mason. Thank you so much for each and every one of you behind the camera and up front for helping me achieve this dream. Back to you guys.
We are back.
Thank you.
Right,
Hey.
with me. Uh-oh, here we go.
Now you can help me get my book up and running.
You got
You
it.
done did it already. Congratulations, sis.
Yes,
Before we get started with our show, our powerful show, we do have a couple of breaking newses, which I know you two was talking about passports getting over to England. We're not only going to be, we're not only in the, talking about planning Wyatt's christening, but me and Kerry getting married.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get my Airbnb down so I can. Yes. When y'all get married, congratulations.
We don't know yet. We don't know, okay. But we're just talking about what suitable date will be.
Okay, so that gives us time to get our stuff in order so we can come on over.
Yeah, because I don't know about y'all, but United States is backed up with passports.
Yes, so we better get on it now. Today. Yes. I'm on it today.
Yeah.
Right. Tonight, please share this, everyone, by the way. Yeah. We have got Dorota Chioma. Obviously, if people don't remember who she is, she used to have her own show on the Warriors a while back called Arts My Medicine, where she invited all different kinds of creative artists on. That had a blast. She's an artist herself who does immaculate paintings. They really are immaculate. People really need to promote and buy these. They really do. Obviously, she can explain what they all represent. But tonight, we're going to be talking about bipolar and dysregulated emotions. Now, I had to look twice of how to spell dysregulated because I know there's a different ways of spelling it. But I've got it. I got it. So let's bring her on. Please share this all and we'll see you in 30 seconds. And we are back.
Hi.
How do you say your name?
Dorota.
Dorota. Okay.
Dorota, yes. It's a Polish version of Dorothy.
Okay. Dorota, beautiful. I have a niece named Renata.
That's the name.
Peekaboo.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well,
Andrea,
how y'all doing?
you never fail to make us laugh.
Doing, man. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyway, how are you, Dorota?
That's a very complex question, and I know that politically correct answer is I'm fine. So let's stay with that.
Why?
Let's go off that. Let's go off that.
Why what? Why what?
Why stay with that?
Mhm.
Go keep it
Because
for your. Come on now.
Otherwise, it will be a very long story. Okay, we
got a
don't
whole
have enough
hour.
time.
So let's
Well,
go about it this way. Let's put the bullet point of respectively disclosure and how we can shift the perspective and change your channel to positivity.
Yeah, well, I would appreciate that positivity. Yes, however, I live with bipolar affective disorder, and my illness has been driving me absolutely nuts for last 5 years, but 3 years, last 3 years are the worst. And my illness have affected all aspects of my life by now, and I am dealing with casualties and aftermath.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I think what we should say is, like, over the past 3 years, for anyone for that matter, we have gone through turmoils, trials, and tribulations. And I would love to see the insight of what that journey looks like to you, you know.
Well,
We all dealt with COVID. Sorry.
That's okay. Well, let's say that journey is.
You have to be a little bit patient with Andrea.
Yes, I know. Let's say that journey was very bumpy one. Okay. I have been diagnosed 3 years ago, and I think I'm still learning how to live with my disability.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can relate. Because life is it's ongoing, and we have to deal with it every day. I get that, honey. It's not something that just goes away. You know what I mean? We have to learn how to navigate through. So I feel you there.
Yeah. So as we're talking about feelings here, how being diagnosed with bipolar, now obviously very few actually know what it is, and people still misconcept bipolar with BPD.
Yes,
that's true.
How does that make you feel when
Well, bipolar is a disorder that affects my mood, my sleeping patterns, and also the energy levels, I would say. Okay, and bipolar is before it was called what was it called? Maniac depression, right? Which probably better describe and put some understanding, simply in those words. Now it's called bipolar because it's perceived, politically more correct, I would say.
Right.
Sounds nicer. But this particular disorder is quite difficult to live with, and I used to say to people that it's like being on a seesaw. You are up and down, and in my particular example, I hardly know what balanced means, because I am in one polarity or the other, and very, very hardly I experience any moments of stability. And for that reason, it's exhausting. because what it means that I experience severe depressive episodes with suicidal ideations or suicidal thoughts, as you know, whatever we put it as. And then I experience high moments of hypomania or mania. And you can imagine it's like, you know, the depression is very often like the energy has been drained. Okay. And I am very often feeling very negative emotions and no strength to really deal with day-to-day life. Why, when I'm hypomanic, I am very energetic, you know, very productive. I take thousands of projects and deliver them all. And I feel like a superwoman. And being frank, I love my mania until I don't, when it comes to, because mania, persistent mania very often involves some paranoia and hallucinations and stuff like that. Because imagine I am deprived of sleep. I practically don't sleep when I'm manic.
Right.
So the mind is really overloaded and plays up, you know. But in terms of the feelings, I love being manic.
I would love to inquire, if you will, have you seen a difference? And we've touched on this in previous shows. Have you seen a difference from your lifestyle of the unknown and going through these conditions to after being diagnosed with these conditions? Because what I see, just to give a little background, both Andrea and I are in the industries of social work. I have social work and psychology over 2.5 decades from my experience, and Andrea will share hers, is that, you know, what we've been able to do is with proper education, you know, walking beside accountability and responsibility, there is ways to manage a healthy lifestyle with these conditions. And to be quite honest, everybody experiences what they used to call SAD, seasonal affective disorder. Then it was mania. Then it was bipolar. It's just how many different ways you can call a cat. And so my initial question is to share with the audience, do you honestly, in your heart of hearts, being honest with yourself, see a difference when you didn't know what this condition was? You knew something was going on, but you didn't have an actual proper label diagnosis to go down the rabbit hole of the definition, as opposed to now a doctor saying this is what you have. I would love for you to share on that, if you will, please.
Well, I think that before I was diagnosed, I felt different. I was called weirdo, and people had used to say things to me like, you are so, you know, difficult to handle, you are this or that. But from the moment when I was diagnosed, not only it made sense, you know, I could look back at my life and say, yeah, so this was it. It was really it. And from the moment when I was diagnosed, it kind of became, I don't know how to put it in words to sound politically correct, but it's like, I know that it's not me who is a bad person or good person, or it is my bipolar that impacts my life in one way or the other. So it gave me a kind of justification and liberation that I am not a weirdo. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously this would have affected your identity as well.
Of course it does. But, you know, I don't know. I know that not everybody likes the moment of diagnosis because they feel labeled. But in my case, I feel that now I know what is wrong, and then I can deal with it more sufficiently and effectively. Because before it was like, you know, beating about the bush, like we didn't know what really is going on.
Right. And I would love for you to, everybody knows I'm very, very particular with words. I would love for you to paraphrase that. I know now what was wrong, saying what was an area of improvement, what was, you know, what was not balanced or something like that. Because we tend to use words as spells. It's literally if you look it up, it's really spells. Words are spells. It's how you use them. And what I've educated individuals in the industries was it's the law of attraction. What you think, you become. So, it's one thing, and I've heard this before, grateful for individuals to, and I agree with Adam says, not to identify as this is your diagnosis, but it's a justification to kind of give an understanding, if you will, but don't dismiss that it cannot be managed, put aside, and you can also use it to your benefit. Like you said, when you have mania, when you have that polarization of extreme amount energy, use that to the advantage of learning about how your mind and body works, as well as the opposite side. And one of the key components too is that creating your environment with individuals with these conditions and situations and lifestyles really can suppress it, if you will, just through mood lighting, sound effects, and so forth.
Perhaps, I'm not sure that I can, rephrase it when I don't feel it that way, And yes, I understand that the law of attraction and positive thinking. However, there is a point in life when I had enough. I am really, really exhausted by my illness, by the life that needs to go on despite my illness. And, perhaps I should be more positive, but I am at the point in life when I'm not sure I can anymore. Because really, since I reached out for help to professionals, and they put me on medication and they take me off medication and whatsoever, for the last 3 years of life have been hell, literally hell.
Right.
So
you are
I'm
not.
saying that I am not positive and don't
Yeah,
fit
the reason
for that, but I don't feel as such.
You are not what the diagnosis is. That's
Right.
not you. That's not who you are.
Go ahead, Adam.
The reason I was laughing because I know exactly what Andrea was doing there, because you're talking about the NHS here.
We're just talking about, I want to make it clear. I understand the mental health system. I've been in it for decades. I get it. But at the same token, I want to be the face of change of mental health. I want to be, having been on both sides of the desk, providing a service and advocating for family members, and that the difficult, jagged pill, pun intended, to swallow is that of what is the condition it is treating, but what are the extraneous variables, side effects it's not treating and bringing upon you. And that is the frustration that I see with individuals such as yourself. It's you get this condition, you get a diagnosis, and now who's saying to the patient, who's saying to the individual, well, what's your prognosis? What can you modify? What are you areas that you want to improve, rather than just medicate people? I'm going to be transparent because now this is getting real. I lost friends who were on medication because they weren't able to take it. It was difficult. It was giving them side effects and conditions that they weren't even able to handle, that they never had before.
And some medications can make you have suicidal ideation. I'm sorry.
Oh, all of them, Andrea. All of them. All the psychotropic medications and all of them do it. And so what I'm saying,
what we should put out there.
What I'm saying, sorry, let me just finish.
Put out. I think
what I'm saying is,
Go
to
on.
Dorota, I'm not dismissing to not follow your doctors. I'm not being here as a doctor to telling you what to do. I'm just saying, as someone who's walked on both sides of the tables, like Andrea said and Adam say, as an advocate on this platform, to that there's more options available if you look and find within then medication or not medication. That's all. I'm just keeping it to that.
Yeah, I think what we're saying is, if people need to take medication, take it,
Mhm.
but there's always an alternative.
Right. You know, and they're coming around now. I
Because
worked
obviously
in a
some
holistic-
medication does actually help people.
Yeah, and I worked in a corporation before 2020 where we were reversing neuropathy. We were reversing, you know, MS. We were reversing people who had mental health conditions for a longevity of time. We shifted their mindset, we shifted their nutrition, their exercise, their community, and the toxic environment. And truth be told, within 3 months to over a year and a half, they were able to, with doctor's discretion, wean off and live a substantial life.
And don't get me started on the medications and on the pharmaceutical. I'll get on a soapbox. I'm sorry. Sorry, sis.
No, we're just saying, Dorota, as a forum and a panel here, we advocate. That's why you're here, to share your side of what nobody walks through your shoes. Nobody walks in your life every day. But
That's
we do
right.
want to shed upon the light as a warrior, as all of us are warriors on this panel. There are other options, safe options, options to explore, options to buy your life back.
Perhaps they are.
Right.
However,
Moving on.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just saying
What were
that
you saying?
this is what I was trying to say, because this is my situation at the moment. I have been put on certain medication. I have awful side effects. The side effects that I don't want to live with, but I cannot wean off those medication now because I am at the risk of losing my work because of my bipolar and absences associated with that. Therefore, I am now imprisoned in a treatment plan. And I still need to make the life, right? I still need to be positive and I still need to see the light. Well, I don't. At this point, I don't.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's very unfortunate. I empathize with you. You know.
But I know I can relate to how you feel. I've never been diagnosed
I've known
with.
Dorota for how many years are we talking now?
Don't know how
I've
many.
never been.
This is another problem with bipolar. You know, the sense of time. In depressive episodes, the time slows down and you know and drags. In hypomania or mania, time just speeds up. And very often I am unable to answer the questions like, when did that happen? I don't know, because I don't know if 2 weeks passed or 3 months or 3 years, because it felt like, you know, a moment to me, or it felt like forever.
Right.
So, Adam, I know that it's few years, but I can't answer that question.
What would you say, Dorota, is one of the messages or concerns that you experience to individuals who aren't familiar with it? That you have, that you're seeking guidance and you feel like you're in this compartmentalized channel or label, if you will, you know, what would you say would be one of your areas that you're experiencing to the audience?
I'm not really understanding what you're asking me about. Sorry.
Okay, so what I'm saying is you're going through this right now. It's 3 years in the making. You have justification of what the condition is. However, what is the concerns that you have or the questions you have to either the supporters and advocates out there in the audience, as well as what you're going through? What would be one of the questions that you face on a daily basis that nobody will ever know unless they walk in shoes such as yours?
Well, you know, the bigger concern is that I think I'm not longer clear where it's me, where it's my illness. Okay. people used to say to me, I lost many friends over the years, but people say like I'm too hard to handle, and I am this or that, and I'm asking like, okay, but what is it? Me? Is it my bipolar? Like, where is me? Where is my bipolar? So this is one of the concerns. The other concern is that I am aware that this is lifelong disorder, and I know that some people reach stability, reach the normal, but tell me where my normal is. What is my stability? Because I never experienced it, So it's like I understand that my psychiatrist is trying to stabilize me, but how does he know where is my stable?
Exactly.
If I don't know it, how can they know it?
Absolutely. I agree 1,000%.
Supportive people.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you need more supportive people.
Yeah.
You need more supportive people, and here we are. We're part of that. So I hope that we can somehow be uplifting and of some help for you, so that you don't feel that way. I feel that way too, because I got a big mouth, and people don't like all the questions. They say I'm hard to handle too, baby. And
let's meet
I
when
lose.
I'm fully manic. You will see how dirty mouth I do.
See, so but they don't get it, and it's not for them to get, and they don't have the empathy within them,
or patience,
and patience. That's right. So we do. We're here. However we can walk you through this, we will definitely love to do so.
And what I'd love to ask, and I want everybody who's listening, like, share, and so, to this, I want you to ask yourself, when and who defines normal?
Thank you. When she said normal, I was like, what is that?
No such thing as normal. I mean, Adam's normal is looking like he's 5 years old today.
Andrea, we've been... I'm normal. I've always been normal. No, but in reality, Dorota knows she's got our supports, because me and her has been talking off here anyway, and she wants to bring her show back one day, so she can promote her art and other people's art.
All right, what's a date? Let's put a date on it. Let's do a date.
Yeah, I would like to. However, I need to be careful of not overloading myself. I learned that if I take too much on, I burn out very quickly, and I can't reboot for a long time. So I am really watching my steps, trying to do, things that do help me, but not overdo things. Yeah.
You're teaching me right now how to have the, to be able and have the courage to say, I can't. I got to look out for myself. I got to take care of myself. It's too much for me. Thank you for that, Dorota, because I want to say yes all the time. And I love the fact you probably would love to say yes, but you're mindful of yourself. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Mostly it's very easy for people who have mania to overload themselves, and sometimes taking projects on and on and on can push me to mania because of it.
Right.
Because there is too much to do, and I am getting too euphoric about it, and and want to act and produce and whatsoever. So this is the aspect of life with bipolar that I need to be very careful about.
And I'll share a secret with it. That's when the power of 3 plays into play. Passion, personal, professional. Limit yourself to 3 things, whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly, and hold yourself accountable and responsible to that. That, as accountability coach, is what I do. That's what I walk beside everybody and as the journey walkers. You don't have to do a million things.
When she doesn't shout at me.
Right.
I don't have to do a million things, y'all. Oh my goodness, I'm doing too much.
Yeah, dreams don't have deadlines. They create destinations. And the power of 3 is personal, passion, and professional. Because when you have a limitation, wouldn't it be more profitable, productive, rather than staying busy to say, I have 3 things on my agenda, and you cross off one? Look at the amazing achievement that you have. Again, it goes back to who defined normal, who defined you are the pilot of your own vehicle. So when you are able to time manage and you're able to, put in direction in that media and transition of the, the depressive state and the mania state as you transition, the best tool I would recommend, that I've done it in my industries when I used to work for them, would be a timeline. All right, get a calendar, kind of track your mood, even if you don't have to write something. Smiley face, angry face, sad face. You find a pattern and you create a habitual ritual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So going back to like how you feel and all that, and support. What mindset did you have when obviously you was in mania, or you was in that fight and flight mode, and you was around your fella and your kids? Like, what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, it's when there is hypomania or mania involved, there is this euphoria kind of feeling, right? This energy that drives you. And being honest, I don't want to be so negative, but it does not have a good influence on family and kids and whatsoever, because I am constantly out running the projects, delivering this, delivering that. It's like I am all the time flying high and doing things. When I'm depressed, there is the sorrow and negative feeling that I don't feel worthy and whatsoever, and then I push people away. I don't want to talk, I don't want to engage. So living with me, it's extremely hard, and I admit it. Okay. But this is how it is. The problem is that a kind of, I don't know if it's only for me or other people with bipolar, because let's remember that I'm talking about my illness,
right?
And how it affects me. Bipolar can affect people in different ways, right? But the kind of baseline of emotions usually is anger. I feel angry all the time and always have. And somebody just told me recently that this is bipolar. And I thought that it's normal that people do feel like that. And when I'm manic, I'm easily triggered into even aggressive mode. And I am known from lashing out verbally on people and stuff, and not, controlling that part of my body, right? In depressive mode, I still feel anger with myself, with this, that I don't want to be here. Why I'm here? I don't want to be here, because in depressive mode, I'm usually suicidal. So I would say that the emotions for me are quite intense, but a lot is around anger.
What's triggering it?
Yeah.
Do you know what's triggering it? Can you identify what brings it on? What brings the anger? What brings the depressive modes?
Depressive modes, I'm not sure what triggers them really. It seems so, my bipolar has a pattern, and you can see some peaks in seasons. Like I'm very likely to be manic in spring, okay, or summer, while I am depressed during winter season. But also there is the that after each high, I fall very low. And this is the problem. This kind of amplitude of different moods is very exhausting, and also it's agitating me, because I'm feeling angry. Why I can't stay somewhere in the middle,
Right.
So yes, there is some kind of pattern. Triggers. It's difficult to say. Of course, usual triggers, like for everybody else, like if there is any grief. Like I lost my dad 3 years ago. this triggered a massive episode, but also a lot of stress and kind of overwhelming feelings may bring it. There are many factors that it's never one factor. There is a kind of collision of few factors.
Right. Absolutely. And that's definitely what I've heard a lot of. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, and I actually praise you for actually identifying those patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
identifying those patterns is good and bad because it's a kind of anticipation. Okay,
well, you know that there.
I will fall down and be depressed.
Yeah, but that's the step of a heightened awareness that a lot of people don't want to take that step.
Yeah, and some of the time falling down could actually be a positive.
It's never been for me, sorry. Yeah, well, I hate my depressive episodes, and I hate how long they last, and how, well, another factor, the biggest factor that triggers my depression is tampering with my medication. Anytime the psychiatrist is trying to, reduce the dose, or I always fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, ladies?
No, I've seen that a lot in the industry. They try different medication mixes or cocktails, if you will. And what I, have learned, it usually takes about a month to 2 months to really get into your system, process it, for the individual to really adapt and adjust to the medication. And then it's like not even after 3 to 5 weeks, they're already changing it. And it's just a process of, production, getting into your system, just like anything else. Absolutely. So of course it's going to affect the individual. And that's why in the beginning of the segment, I kind of, had such facial and emotional expressions, because it was very frustrating. I related to the patients because they were just like, Andrea, I can't do this anymore. I finally get just at the tip of the iceberg of stability after 3 weeks, and then they make a change, to the medication. So yeah, I understand that. I heard that before.
Yeah. And the fact is that I recently has been put a win of sertraline, and the last 3 weeks of it were the withdrawal that I had were hell, absolutely hell. And then, in 3 weeks time after that, I am put on antidepressants again because I am, in severe depressive mode. So I'm thinking, why have you dragged me through hell just to put me on the same type of medication again?
Yeah.
The beautiful joys of the NHS.
NHS, yes, but also, in total, psychiatry, psychiatrists and psychologists, they have been trained in that way.
Right.
This is something that they do according to textbook, and refuse to see anything beyond that, to the extent that, what is my problem and what triggers me? People not listening to me. I live in that body for 40-something years. I know how I'm functioning or not functioning. If I'm telling you that this has been done in the past twice, and I ended up in the hospital being suicidal, why are you not listening to me? But they don't. And
that's why I moved my industries and careers, because of such things. I someone I know is taking a psychology course, and we were discussing about how the medications aren't what I would say cookie cutter. If a man and a woman is taking the same medication, it has different effects. If a woman who's 100 pounds versus a woman who's 200 pounds, it's different. And one of the frustrations that I said is, I said, and I'm going to be bold. I said, this is not an experiment. This is a life you're dealing with. They know their body better. They know what reactions are going to uphold. Do the research, listen to the individual. This is somebody's mother, father, brother, sister. Learn about them first. Then rule out by process of elimination treatments, different protocols and nutrition, exercise, and lifestyles. They just want, one size fits all, which
Yes,
is not at all the solution.
exactly.
And that's what she's saying. It's not a one size fit all, right, Dorota?
Yep.
What may work for everybody else might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, we can sit here and talk about positivity, think positive. That's easy for us to say when we're not walking in your moccasins.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
exactly. Yes.
Like I said, I am now on lithium, very high doses of lithium, and I'm having side effects, and I am ripped off the things that I used to enjoy, and I can't do it anymore. And it's like, do I really want to live like that? No, I don't. But I don't really have any choice because nobody's listening. And the risk of me coming off the medication and having episodes has impact on my family. I'm the main breadwinner. I just can't risk it.
Right.
What can we do to make them listen? What can we do to make them listen
I
to
think
you?
they should, to me, I don't know. They are pretty fed up with me because I can speak for myself, and believe me, that is why, in the last manic episode, I almost was sectioned because a psychiatrist triggered me and I really told her what I think about her, and her lack of understanding and empathy. I think there should be a module in their studies that they should, exercise empathy, listening. Like literally, they should pass an exam. You know what I mean? Maybe then it will sink in.
I agree with you 100%. When I was in the industry, they would give me the clipboard. They would tell me the histrionic episodes. This is their positives, negatives, naysayers. And a human, somebody of that nature, when you're going about the business and corporate compliance, you follow suit. But nobody can dismiss. You've already premeditated that person to have this vision of a person you haven't physically met in whatever setting they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I stopped that immediately and I said, look, I'm not looking.
Because people, Andrea,
yeah.
Everyone, because people get that identifying judgment from information from paper or text. It's like, that's not the person.
Right. And that's why I was able to be a liaison. But that's why I was, when I was working with these corporations, I was a liaison. They wanted to see me because I saw the person as a human being, not as these medications and these episodes. I remember one incident. There was a situation.
Yes.
I was working with a patient and everybody's like, oh my goodness, you're going to see that person? Bring the police, bring the squad, bring the psychiatrist, bring the ambulance, and bring a straitjacket. And you know what? I said, y'all can leave that there. I'm going to see this person. They followed me just for safety protocol on their eyes. I had a conversation with the person. I was able to de-escalate the person and have a in-tune conversation because I listened. I said nothing and I listened. And then I relayed the information. They thought I was this crazy miracle witch worker. What did you do? I said, I treated that person like a human. Not
exactly. And this is all we want as patients. We want to be seen as those humans. And, all the literature would say, oh, bipolar can affect other people in different ways. So don't assume that I am this and that. Just listen to me. Some of us are very high functioning. I work full time, right? And I have been since I remember.
And if people really want to go to the nitty gritty, this is one of the biggest stigmatisms that I am so against is mental health does not impair your intellect at all whatsoever. It impairs your understanding, your comprehension, your behavior, but not your intellect. Exactly. I've known lawyers, movie actors and actresses. I had to deal with somebody who thought they were a pop star and had no physical features whatsoever, but they still knew what was going on. Their intellect was intact, just their mannerisms and behaviors were a little bit imbalanced. And that's what it is. It's a chemical imbalance.
And when you deal with any of the doctors, heterogeny is a thing. They come to you and try to incorporate on you what their program is.
Yes.
Absolutely. I get it. And it takes a lot of time and energy. No wonder you wore out, because they're not hearing you and you're trying to help them to hear you, right? So at the end of the day, you have to fight the heterogeny that any healthcare professional brings to you.
Medical.
For instance, I'm gonna give you an example. When my daughter was threatening to lose her baby and was in the hospital for several months, the doctor came in and he said, "We don't believe, if this baby comes early, we don't believe in resuscitate." You heard the words, we don't believe in. Okay, it's not about him, right? My daughter and her husband broke down crying because what they heard him say was they would not.
Right.
So what did I do when it got in? And this is something we have to deal with too, when it comes to mental health. You have to go through several different doctors too before you find one that you can mesh with and will listen to you.
And you know what the crazy thing is, though, Andrea? When they do that, then the patient is stigmatized as a shopper.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for medication. They're looking for someone to get them in or push the envelope or, if you will, unleash the red carpet so they can get into the club.
Well, we don't care what they think, because it's about you.
This is what I need to say real quick. If you are watching and you're a profession and you're in any medical realm, ask yourself this question. Why did you get in this field? To help people or to follow the agenda of your higher ups? What is your mission and message to be a profession in the medical realm? Whether it's medical, any profession, ask yourself why you got in there. Because if you can ask yourself that, you will maybe change your stars and help individuals such as anybody on this panel, anybody on this platform, anybody watching.
Exactly. And you know what
helps?
I
just want to raise it quickly.
Let her finish.
No, there is also one more aspect that you have no other choice but be high functioning when you have mental health illness. You know why? Because you need to chase your appointments, you need to chase your blood tests, you need to chase your medicine, you need to go 4 times to the same center to pick up the prescription because doctor had no time to do it and you missed your dose because of it.
Yes.
So who is ill here? I'm sorry, but who is ill?
Yes, they're in. Yes. Yes. I'm just gonna
Andrea, I think I'm gonna tip you over the edge here. I think I'm just going to tip you over the edge here. Speaking of doctors, and this is just a little bit off topic here. We rang the doctors because we was concerned that our newborn had colic. And the doctor come and we was explaining all the symptoms that he was showing. And the doctor turned around and went, "No, that's just normal behaviour." And I'm like to the receptionist, "No, I want a second opinion," which we then got an appointment day later. And we actually took our son to the doctors, even though everyone knows my views on them. But anyway, let's not get into that. And it turns out he does have colic, which obviously to everyone, colic is a normal thing within babies. It is. But he'll get over it anyway because we're doing the right things. But it just shows. People need to see these people in person to get the decision, not just over a fucking phone.
Right. And I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I'm going to seek for the right doctor that fits me. I don't care if they think I'm seeking for drugs or whatever they might think. My grandma always told me and my mama, it's not about they.
Right.
It's about you, taking care of you. and doing what you need to do to take care of you. All that other stuff, that's just extra cloudiness in your mind to even have to think about, well, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're going to think this. No, do what you got to do for you, honey. Find the right practitioners and the right care.
I shared something on Facebook. Yeah, I shared something on Facebook a few days ago, and it was this big circle with all this information in it. The outside.
I saw that. I thought you stole it from me. I have that.
You stole it off me. People's views, people's criticism, people's judgment, all that. Then there's an inner side, inner circle where it's your opinion, your judgment, your choice. Focus on the inner, not the outer.
Yes, absolutely. And there is an African proverb spoken by my coach, Dr. Les Brown. If there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside can do us no harm. And you need, and we are here for you, Dorota, and everybody else as your warrior strong support system. Because if they don't understand or they cannot relate, they're not worth your time.
You know, and that's why I quit trying to sit here and give suggestions and all that in this moment, because Dorota, you help me to understand, because you keep going back. No matter what we say, you're going back to what it is that you're dealing with.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that help. We got to meet you where you are.
Yep. Absolutely.
And this is why I'm thinking of actually connecting Andrea Mason and Dorota, because I think you two would have a brilliant chat. And to be honest, I think Andrea would actually help you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I really do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
even though she tells me to shut up 95% of the time.
And you can reach out to me too, Dorota, because I'm coming from a whole nother perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm just a person to talk to. I'm not nobody's doctor. I'm an individual who has lived experience like you do.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what it's
And
about.
a friend,
You're our sister, Andrea.
Yeah. Anything you go through gives you certification to help another one out and achieve it too.
Yes, and for that reason, I am active mental health activist and advocate for mental health and reducing stigma through my art. However, you know, it became very difficult to create my art recently for the reasons which I told you already, the side effects of medication. Sure. And this is, you know, something that really frustrates me because this was my heaven. This was my thing, you know, and now there are days that I can't even hold the paintbrush because of hand tremors. So I am in agony emotionally because this is not the life I want to lead, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
That makes sense, honey.
Yeah.
I still do art, don't get me wrong. I still do art and try to create, you know, despite, but it is frustrating to the extent that there was a day that I launched a bottle of ink through my studio because I got so frustrated. Because, you know, people are saying, embrace it. And, you know, one more time I hear to embrace my hand tremors in my art, I will kill. This is the formal forewarning, all right? Because I don't want to embrace it. I want to make art as I want to make it, you know?
Absolutely.
But the illness and medication ripped my life off it, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I just want to support you, Dorota, through it, if I can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You already are. We're all supporting her.
Yes, we are.
We're doing that right now.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm just extending that extra beyond here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you know, we all are the same way. You know what I'm saying? Adam, you know, you can go to him. You know, you can go to Andrea, my sister. You know, you can go to my brother and sister.
Yeah.
But I'm also letting you know I'm here too.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if we want to sum up, and I'm sorry, there is my child crawling behind me. if we want to sum up, I think from my perspective that the emotions and feelings I have are quite intense. Sometimes it is perceived that it's more intense than average person would. So when I'm angry, I'm really angry. When I'm sad, I am really sad. And this kind of amplitude between those emotions and the episodes, it's very exhausting to feel things so intensely, So a lot of frustration because of that. There is another feeling that comes with my bipolar. So yes, there is amazing aspect of my bipolar, because I believe that it makes me creative and the way I am as an artist. But there is so many negatives, associated with those emotions that I feel, and it's very difficult to function in the society who can't understand this intensity, and that I don't have control over it, because people are saying like, just control your behavior, just stop it, stop being angry. It is not really possible for me to regulate this. That is why I said to Adam, they are dysregulated, because they are very intense and difficult to control. It's like it's taking over me, and that frustrates me that I can't control myself.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense.
Anything, Andrea?
Thank you so much for being vulnerable, authentic integrity, because this is what we need more of. The more that we learn about the areas of improvement, the more that we are aware, the more that we are able to acknowledge and announce. I just have faith eventually everything is going to work out, because there's more individuals that are going to come to the light, to come to bravery, to come forward after this segment. So thank you. Hello.
Sorry, she couldn't wait any longer.
No. All right. No worries. All right, Adam.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. I think Kerry's coming over.
Oh, okay.
He's not getting his window.
He's not getting his window. All right, okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
Him getting big.
So he is. Yeah, so I think we should wrap up. And I don't think we've heard the last of Dorota yet, because I think she's on a rampage at the minute.
Well, Dorota,
thank you for coming on, and and please share this, everyone, and that's it.
Yep.
well, thank you for coming. We appreciate you for having the courage to come. And you know, I learn something every day that I'm on these shows and watch them. So thank you, because you help me to see things in myself that I could possibly look at in a different perspective, right? I think all of us take something away from this today.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're here.
Well, from me, I would like, to those who listen and will be watching it at some point, would like to underline a fact that sometimes when we see people reacting in a certain way, it's not necessary that they want to be like that. Okay, very often there is something involved, like emotions, dysregulated emotions, that take over that person in that moment in time. So a bit more compassion and empathy I would appreciate from people.
Absolutely. And patience.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, I'll wrap this up, and we'll talk off camera if you want. So yeah.
Okay.
Next week, you two, we've got Miss Liz. She's coming back, Elizabeth Gagnon. We're talking about conversion disorder.
Interesting.
Conversion. Oh no. So yeah, we'll see you next week. See you later.
Later. Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Be safe, be well. Have a great weekend.